And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As always, you may be aware of this, but I'm going to tell you yet again anyway. The Mountain Dew League is giving amateurs a direct path into the ESL Pro League. And if you'd like to find out a little bit more about that, maybe you have a vision of getting yourself to the top echelons of online CS, and head over to esca.net/MDL for more information. Now, our next match coming up is North versus NiP. It's going to be a Scandinavian clash, and North currently sits in first place of the ESL Pro League for Europe, and MSL seems to be confident in their win potential going forward. Now, should North win both their matches tonight, they will guarantee themselves a spot in the finals. A single win could do it, though, but only if Fnatic loses their particular match. In short, North's odds are looking pretty good. But before we get into it, let's have a look back, fondly, of course, at last week's submissions for our community plays.
Yes, the community plays are back. This is our favorite time of the week, I think.
I don't think people realize how much we thoroughly enjoy this. Is Lollygag gonna get a nice little spam frag there onto the B side. Follows it up with a HE.
Oh,
lovely. Two kills, didn't see anybody.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to do things. That makes things, the game a lot easier, doesn't it?
Well, that's how I prefer to get my kills, Jason.
Without seeing anything?
Yeah.
Well, here's the story from Indonesia, and he's a sensation. Yeah, that's a phenomenal spray down.
Lauren, are you here with us?
I'm just amazed.
Lauren,
you know,
that's a win.
I'm just amazed. See, this is what I live for.
Did he just shoot at his teammate? Or
yeah,
is
he
that...
did. No, it's all right. All right, Reaps, you can't control him. He's just sitting a loose cannon.
He's a wild card.
He is. He
just got a three-piece speed.
Anyone's a target. There he is. Den never stood a chance.
This is an ace, Lauren.
That's all 5.
Bang!
I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I
like his question mark in his name. We've
it's
really
like he doesn't actually know his own alias. Yeah,
he's not sure.
He's a little lack of confidence in it.
You got to be confident.
He's
you know,
having
Chad?
an identity crisis.
Some of us are also doing that as well, Chad. it's tough out here.
Maximal crazy.
From Macedonia.
Is that like meant to be the maximum amount of crazy?
It's like minimal and maximal.
Yeah.
That's not a...
Oh, holy shots. Speaking of which.
Here we go. It's an American. Jason's excited.
This is my boy.
One,
He's the next.
Two.
He's the up and coming. Look at these headshots.
I was about to say, it sounds a lot like you and Kusta.
So phenomenal, yeah. He's gonna be, he's gonna save the entire region.
Spicy,
That's
I'm not
4
gonna
headshots.
lie.
Is he gonna get the 5th?
Ooh! The
Get
reactions.
Zeus.
There's a lot of
Another
these
American. Yeah. This one's not Brazilian.
Or what, you Russian or Ukrainian?
This is just spelled more similar, right?
Yeah. That's not bad.
Okay.
You know what?
He's a god.
Chad, I want you to be casting this.
Thank you for submitting your clips, people at home.
Thank you guys very much for submitting your clip every week, because we do thoroughly enjoy those.
Yeah.
We do quite like
it. It's the highlight of my week.
That one wasn't as long as what it normally is. Normally it's quite extended.
I think it's because we had so much fun doing the voiceover that it just went,
maybe
very quickly.
Maybe. Do I sound very quiet to everybody, or is it just me?
Just, again,
I'm trying to put this.
I think you hit a higher pitch just now than I've ever heard you hit before in my life.
My beard, and it's not working.
Just do it. You can just scratch the microphone. It'll be good. North versus NiP is coming up right now.
That's exciting.
As we mentioned, or as Mitch mentioned, North is currently. I don't know if they're actually #1, but I know they were at some point yesterday during one of the 3 changes. And we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Mitch also mentioned it, but just to recap, if they win both their games tonight against NiP, they qualify for the playoffs. They're through 100% locked in. If they win one and Fnatic loses one, Fnatic playing Astralis, then they're in as well. So a pretty good chance right now that North can be the first team from Europe to lock in a position in the playoffs.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Must be nice.
It's been pretty good to see them kind of rise to this as well. It hadn't been the perfect season for them. We'd seen some stranger people at the top of this Pro League throughout the European side of things. But they've actually looked pretty consistent. It looks like they've kind of pulled themselves together. It doesn't seem like they've had any like off moments or any crazy results. It's just been, okay, they've actually turned up and played pretty good and consistently throughout from what we've seen. Yeah,
well, this is the thing with this lineup, right? They seem to get criticism from certain members of the community as I look towards Jason.
Whoa, jeez, a lot of buses being flung my way today.
You know, for not performing to the level that they have in the past, especially with that Epicenter win that they had all that time ago now. But they're always on the precipice of you know, getting up there into the finals. They always have that chance, that ability to get there, and if they can just slowly build towards that as they integrate AZ into this team, they're a very exciting prospect.
Yeah, I mean, there's always got to be one in every relationship that over babies someone, right? It's like the whole like mother-father thing. There's someone.
Where did this go?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to bring it somewhere.
What rabbit hole has he dived down?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's one of those days.
See, when Henry leaves the desk, Jason just thinks it's, you know, a time to get let off the leash. Henry keeps him.
You reckon
in check?
Henry is a daddy. He knows how to do that.
I knew it was going to happen.
You knew it was going to go to his daddy, didn't you?
Anyway, right now we're seeing the
to
new NiP sensation Draken grabbing some frags, and there's Freiburg as well.
But we have to bring up something here, is the fact that if you didn't see it or you didn't check out HLTV, NiP just suffered a huge loss. Like a 16-1 loss to FaZe.
And I think the previous map they'd lost as well to FaZe, like, but that was a little bit close. That was 16-13.
It was a little bit better. It wasn't the complete beatdown, backhand sort of thing that's come through. This is rough. It's you know, and we know that NiP are quite an emotional team. Even if it's online matches, losing 16-1 isn't fun for anyone. You said it's like, this is pretty shit. I'm not gonna lie. We've just got absolutely backhanded.
Wow, Lauren.
Chad.
The swear jar has to come back out.
Sorry, he's making daddy jokes, and that's the problem.
Look,
I did make it out.
Yeah, you did.
This is a good one, though.
You did. So, okay, right. Let's just talk about this. I know this is a little bit off topic, but what scoreline and below would we consider a fisting? I would say a 16-4.
God bless.
A 16-4.
It's like I can't let you guys talk. Lauren's swearing left and right. Chad's talking about fisting.
Perfectly acceptable in comparison to that.
That's a good point.
Sorry, what?
Thank you for outbalancing
I think it would be. I think it would
great.
be 16-6. I feel would be that particular act.
All right, great. That's ping.
Because I think above that.
Ping.
Ping.
Peng.
Ping.
Peng. Piff. Yeah.
Yeah, to get back on topic, I mean, I think the real issue, the real issue with NiP at the moment is this is now consistently losing, right? Like they didn't make it. I mean, this is where you kind of get in that mode where just like even practicing Counter-Strike, Chad, you'll know all about this.
Yeah, I do.
Just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel fun because you're not having success, you're not winning, and this is when it really starts to feel like a weight on your shoulder going into every match, every practice, everything you do in Counter-Strike. Yes?
Is that directed at me? Because
Chad,
someone just pick up the slack.
No, sorry, Jason. I've got you. I just didn't know if Laura wanted to say that one. I've got this. It does become a chore, right? And we know that like Gerard has been very vocal about the fact that he's going through issues and saying it's some of the toughest times that he's had in his life. And then to continue to be losing at Counter-Strike sucks. Yeah. There's always that stuff hanging over the head of Freiburg and exists to some extent because they get a lot of criticism. And you know, when they get a new player, you expect the honeymoon period. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that's a big thing, isn't it? Everyone's always said, even when Pitt joined, he was probably not a player that fit into the caliber of what you expected from Draken. When he came in, it was like, oh, this guy's an AWPer, he's dedicated to it, he seems to have a lot of talent coming up. And even with a lesser fitted player like Pith was, they still had that honeymoon period to a degree. And it was the same when they had Michael Ailey come in. It was the same when they've had Disco Doppler come in. Every single time they had that player, there was a little boost of performance. Now, it feels like that's maybe run out, maybe it's not fitting in. And it's like you kind of expected it when we were, for example, we were listening to MBK discussing when they came together with the new lineup that they formed for the French team. They knew that they were going to have to start again from zero and build up this new format, new style, kind of change the whole approach to CS. Now, NiP, I don't know if that's ever been the case. If they've ever gone, we've got to completely kind of take apart what we do and then rebuild it and just kind of do, all right, long-term goals. Yeah. At the moment, it feels like the short-term fixes aren't working out right now. And normally they had for a while. They boosted somewhat of their results.
I think that's kind of the thing over the course of these changes. It's all short-term fixes, right? It's not long-term. Yep. Even the addition of Threat doesn't seem to be having too much of a long-term effect at this point. But these are two teams on the other end of the spectrum. As Chad so eloquently mentioned about me being a little bit harsh on North. I mean, they're a team that's constantly trying to break into the top four, constantly trying to challenge for championship trophy. Or NiP at this point is just trying to get out of group stages. Going to events just to get Draken experience. This North squad, this first map is going to be Cash. Now, this is a map that North has been working on. It's one that hasn't been great in their pool, but they have been playing it more and more a little bit. And it's a map that NiP used to be very, very good on. I mean, does this actually mean anything?
Well, it's one that I know that MSL is not particularly a fan of as well, right? And if your in-game leader isn't really a fan of something, it makes it less than inspiring to play, but you need it in your map pool. You definitely need to have that in there, and they have been able to use it to their advantage because they're one of the teams that I think veto to the other team's weaknesses as opposed to just what they consider their best map. So for them on this one, I think they have really explosive players, which is definitely what you need on the CT side of this map, right? We want to see the aggressive players towards Squeaky, towards A main, aggressive B main, close up middle, boosting over and taking all these fights. That's the stuff you want. That's where you want Config to be. That's where you want Magicsploit to be. And then you let Cajun roam the backlines with the AWP, be able to mop up any mess that you can see. So we know that MSL is a very good in-game leader in the way that he paces the team, and they obviously have strategies. They know how to do mid takes and stuff. It's just about, are people hitting their shots, and is the right call for the situation being made on this map? Because that's what I see with it. It's gambles on the CT side need to be taken to get you early round advantages, or to stop to be in the right place to stop the terrorists taking map control.
Yeah, and Cajun B recently had an incredibly good game in their last Pro League series that they played not too long ago. It was against LDLC, so take from what you will. But LDLC also had a couple of good games themselves recently. So even out, but even the LDLC guy saying we didn't know how to get past Cajun B. This guy was having one of those games that we know occasionally Cajun B has, and it becomes a little bit scary. Config also was having a really
cleaner.
good game. Yeah, exactly. You know, that guy that we'd all kind of looked at going, there he is, you know, mopping up everything. You know, the gifts came out from any of the Astralis guys when he used to play with them. So, I don't know. I just want to see if he can perform on this level. I think it'd be a nice fit for them on Cash. Fit, you know, they do start having those stars actually show up.
I think one thing to put into perspective on like the CT and T sides of maps is sometimes you want to have consistent stars, right? Which means that people are doing their job. You set up Magic's Boy to get an entry frag and he gets the entry frag. That's fantastic. On the CT side, you want you know, your players to be a rock of a bomb site. But sometimes, like, if a team counters your position and they're there just to flush out one player, that their focus may now be on the stars who are getting hammered. So Config and Magics are constantly getting out of position. They're getting perfect pop flushes against them and Molotovs and stuff. And that's when, you know, someone like Cajun, who's a bit more in the back lines, he can come in with that AWP. They're too busy focused on the prep work they've done for the stars of North when there's so many. And then other people can pick up frags and have really good performances. That's why, you know, you look at it and you go, oh, wow, you know, this team's very inconsistent. Cajun had a good game. Config had a good game. Magic had a good game. But it really depends on how the opponent approaches it. Or sometimes, especially if you're like an entry fragger on the T side, you're the one making space and you might just be getting instantly fragged from, you know, they know what's coming and it's always hard to deal with that. So it's so difficult in Counter-Strike to have one player consistently top fragging, and when you see someone like Device doing it, that's just a huge thing in itself.
Or Coldzera.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the reason why these guys get so many props consistently over and over again. Now, we obviously have some time to fill.
Okay,
Just waiting for some players to join the server. I mean, NiP, let's get back on that thread. Let's hammer that a little bit.
Do we want to see where they're going? Do we want to have a look
yeah, well, their upcoming schedule?
Yeah.
We can do that if you can bring that up quickly.
Let me get there. Just in the meantime, while I wait for the internet to load, has anyone noticed that Draken looks a little bit like the Salt Bay guy? A little bit similar?
I actually wouldn't have known who that guy, the Salt Bay guy, was if you didn't have the picture up on your screen.
NiP are playing after this match Envious, who we just saw get 2 wins against Heroic, and Hellraisers. So they're not games that NiP, you know, we wouldn't write them out of those 2 matches coming up after tonight, right?
No, but I think if you look at Envy tonight and you look at Hellraisers at Star Ladder, you would certainly say those teams could very well be the favorites of that matchup.
Yeah, I think it's just like as of late, you're going to have to remove what you see on paper from results at the moment. It's like if you put NiP on paper, you're like, oh, NiP should be able to clean up those last 2 games if you go off what you'd expect. But as you said, the results aren't necessarily backing it recently.
So I have a hard time counting any team out, and I'm not just trying to sit on the fence here because the perfect example of that is we've seen VP have some absolute shockers, but they just beat G2, a team who has just had a meteoric rise in the last 2-3 weeks. 16-10 on the B stream on Inferno.
We saw how bad the VP were on Inferno not too long ago.
Yeah,
as well.
it's crazy, right? So it's at this level of Counter-Strike, if a team's going through a slump for like a period of a month or maybe a little bit longer, or they're having a rough time, you can never really count them out because I feel there's always going to be an upswing unless the team is just completely mentally broken. There's no chance of them having a resurgence. So there's no reason that NiP can't win these games towards the end of the season, but I would definitely favor North.
I mean, how long do you have to consider a team to be in a downswing to really be a little bit harsh on them? Because, I mean, you got to assume NiP's been there for quite a bit at this point.
This is the thing I always bring up, right? Would we still consider NiP in the top 10 teams in the world right now?
Off the top of my head,
sorry, Jason, we don't need the top of your head. We can have a look.
I don't think there's too many contenders.
Yeah, I guess not.
Where are they?
I think they're 12.
Am I blind?
They're 12 right there.
Okay, sorry,
so yeah, they're currently 12th on HLTV. I think that's a pretty fair shot. I think those teams ahead of them are. I mean, they can get back into it. I think like Hellraisers, for instance, doesn't seem like they're going to be a mainstay in the top 10 unless they, I mean, obviously have to show more. Immortals, I don't think I'd put as a top 10 team if I'm honest. Fnatic's questionable at number 10. So I mean, there's some teams that they can leapfrog pretty easily.
A lot of contention there, right, for those positions. So there's, like you said, there's no reason that they can't be up there.
I think it's more that we haven't seen anything promising.
To be completely honest, right, if I was NiP and I wanted to build for a team to win maybe at the start of next year or late this year, you would have to just basically have a fresh look NiP. If GetRight and Forest can stay in the team, you're going to have to put them in different roles. I would say you don't want them to be star players anymore. You bring in fresh blood. Draken can already show that he can be a massive impact player. I'm sure there's more young Swedish talent. They were once the best Counter-Strike country in the whole world, right? So there's definitely the talent and the players there, and take a risk and build something new, right? And sure, that sucks. You don't want to get rid of people who have built your brand like Frybird exist over the years, but if you want NiP to be the winning team or a winning team, maybe you need a drastic change like that. But if you're happy to be in the position they are right now, stick with what you got.
And I hate to say it, but there's also, it's just, does NiP happily stick as the brand of NiP, right?
Why not?
They're still the guys that everyone seems to love. You know, the Swedish fans go crazy for them. It's like, you know, what is their actual goal? Do they genuinely want to be champions again? Does everyone? It's all good and well. 1, 2, 3 players being, you know, completely down to grind everything out. You know, Drake a new blood core, it might revitalize it a bit. But if people aren't willing to put in, you know, hour upon hour, and I have no idea if they do or not, but it's like individually, if they're not feeling as motivated as everyone else, you're going to see that disparity in the team. Sure, maybe GetRight's having an incredibly tough time, and maybe he's grinding out the hours, maybe he'll have a couple of those really big games coming in. But again, if it's not reciprocated throughout the team, there could always be an issue. And it's like what Shroud actually said pretty recently was, I guess you could apply it to these guys because GetRight's having it at the moment. Shroud said going into a couple of the events recently, he put in more hours than he's ever done in towards CS. He'd got better results recently as well, you know, through pracs, coming into his team, you know, pumping up, saying, you know, this is going to be a big moment for him. And then he goes to the event and completely bombs out. And he walks away going, what else am I meant to do? I literally did everything I could individually to get myself ready, and I had an awful performance. And it's just how it went for him. And you've got to feel that almost in a way, you see GetRight saying, I'm putting in time. You can see that he's been putting in hours, and he goes to an event, completely crashes out. It must be incredibly tough for these guys mentally to try and bounce back. It's like, well, what more do I do? Individually, I'm trying everything I can. As a collective, is that where it's going wrong? Is it just a bad event?
Yeah, I mean, and GetRight's also chimed in one of the players who said he'd be interested in a sports psychologist. Either way, we're going to get off this topic, fortunately, and we're going to send it over to Henry G. and Sedegist.
Yes, we are much delighted to jump into this game. Very delighted, I think, is better English, Henry. I also want to comment on the fact that if Wayne Gretzky once said, if you're not having fun, even a 10-foot pass is hard. You can grind out all you like, but if you're not enjoying your life and having fun playing CS, you're not going to be good. I think sometimes people put too much pressure on playing too often. And I know this kind of leads into another topic that Thorn touched on this week, etc. But I think that sometimes playing too much is counterproductive.
Yeah, it can be. If you find yourself in a rut, like sometimes taking a break and kind of refreshing yourself and getting away from the game, that can help. But that's not really possible in the landscape of CSGO right now. It's event, practice when you can, deathmatch in your free time. It's really difficult to find that stuff.
That's my point. Like, I think you could cut some deathmatch every now and then if you need to. But if you're at a point where you could just say, you know what, I'm going to play something else, or hey, I'm going to go outside and kick a soccer ball.
We often say that the fact is that CSGO is at its most competitive it's ever been, in the history of the game, right? So if you in your mindset, you're thinking, to get better, I need to play more. It seems counterproductive to a lot of people to suggest, oh, if I play less, maybe I'll find myself in a better place. It's
not even so much about mechanics to me, it's about mind state. You just take that break and reset your mind as much
absolutely.
as anything.
Yeah, it's definitely beneficial, but you can understand why players might find that a difficult thing to accept, a concept that doesn't really seem logical, I guess, in its approach. But still, North versus NiP here
Everything
on Cash.
I ever did in my life that was logical led to failure, Henry.
Okay.
And then I just started throwing caution to the wind, and look at me now, Mom.
Talking about computer games.
Yeah, look at us go.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's going to be Cash to kick us off, and North, it's often a map we talk about them saying that they're not 100% confident in it, but they do get some surprising results here and there. NiP, it was the absolute best map for a while, but certainly not the case anymore. I couldn't really tell you what their best is. They just got banged out 16-1 in Inferno as well. So it's not looking too great for them overall. Like they said, 12th in the world, quite the fall from grace overall. You think about the pedigree of this team. Let's get into it, shall we? 3 sets of armor for NiP. They've got not a Superman, they've got a Tech Knife for GetRight who's got a smoke as well. Throwbug also joining in the utility, and 3 players being boosted up towards middle. Suggests maybe a B split coming in here. I'll be waiting up for Draken and GetRight to get ready in B storage. Draken will make a little bit of presence towards the entrance here, and they will go for the mid control nice and quickly here. And actually, everyone committing towards middle, and AZ opening things up.
Ooh, good response from Exist, though. The smoke, we talked, you mentioned this last night with G2. You can bust through that at the top of highway, take away angles from the USPs, but they aren't going that direction. Instead, it's to Config, who goes early, manages to get the second shot, though, which gives him the repeat toward Drake. It gets all 4 as they push through. Incredible stuff and great accuracy.
Those rounds are so disheartening. You get the opening picks, you start making your way towards the bomb site, everyone's in checkers, and you overlook one of the most key positions on the entire map, hiding in that corner at the back of the room. Config steps out. He probably can't believe his luck at that point. He's got 4 players in front of him, not really looking at him. Nails 2 headshots, and then he gets the aggro and keeps firing and hitting absolutely everything. 2 bullets remaining in his magazine when he got that final kill as well. It looked very calm, and it's going to be 1-0 for North. We'll go into a force buy from NiP. There, no bomb planted, of course. That's a rough round, but after losing that huge defeat against FaZe, I think it was 16-1 on Inferno. It's been a rough ride the last few months for NiP. They've got Deagles, Tech-9s, P250s, a few flashbangs and 2 smokes. Draken has been boosted up towards middle here, and it will end up in some sort of A split. Draken's got a bit of mid-control. Not a lot of it, but his teammates are towards Squeaky Door main entrance now. In terms of the CT setup, Major Boy towards MBK. AZ there Thinking about throwing the graded squeaky door, can't quite do it, and Draken will fall first.
Shot through. No success on the UMP. Get Right will fall off events as a result. It's Magisk that's flashed at quad. He'll peek back out with the FAMAS and do decent damage. Doesn't quite land, though, when he goes for Forest. He's now taken down by AZ, who walks in rather clinically, and he finds 4 kills this time, so he can config, building up the bank.
That wasn't bad at all. Good work from AZ. I like that a lot. Well, Draken tried to get some presence towards middle. He got taken down. Get Right got 1 kill with the PT-50 there. They saw the A-split coming in. They just couldn't get much done with the FAMAS, but AZ, my God, could he do something with that UMP? 4 kills for him. Like you said, quite clinical precision there as we get into round number 3. It's going to be NiP or Felica here. 1 PT-50, 1 flashbang, normally means grouping up, throwing the flash in, hoping for the best. Towards B they go. Here's the flashbang. Throw it in, but Config, he's so good in this B-bomb site. I don't think he'll be taken down here. Another flash available. He's going to get an easy spray down here. Get 3 in total. His teammate MSL coming for the scraps to the end. Damage has been inflicted, but Config got another 4K. Got 4 in the pistol, 4 in round number 3 as well. Good work by him. Money will be available for an NiP here. They won't be able to get the AWP in the hands of Draken. He straight away invests in that AK-47. A couple of flashbangs there as well. Rough start for the Ninjas here, considering first gun round in the T side, you got to play out on a UMP. That's Get Right. Player we've discussed in depth recently, Matt, in terms of his recent form, and the guy's kind of elaborated on the desk as well. He's having rough times at CSGO and outside the game as well. So we see him returning to his former glory sometime soon. But round number 4, all for Cajun B. As we head towards the B side of the map, the bomb is there as well. We have got Forest, who's in towards the squeaky door, and Draken watching A main as well. But look at MSL pushing through the smoke here. This is very cheeky indeed. Matt, this is a perfect example of cheeky. You were asking yesterday. He's found the bomb as well.
I do like bombs, Henry. They tend to do big things. God. So does this from MSL. 1, 2, no!
Just about. Just about.
Have faith. Just held down the trigger, didn't reposition. He's like, come on, 1 bullet's gonna do it. I swear it's gonna hit. And then he turns around to find Draken as well. 4 kills for MSL. We're getting 4s all around tonight.
Well, this is NiP looking a bit flat, I have to say. That's a huge blunder. That shouldn't be possible. If you're going to leave mid exposed, at least have someone in sunroom. Just making sure that's not a possibility. The fact he can get that close to the T side, 2 on his screen, and has a chance to miss, what, 10, 15 bullets to even find a second kill as well? That's a horrible round from NiP, and this could be an absolute landslide victory for North if they keep this up. It's going to be Tech 9s and one Deagle and a couple of smokes to work with as well. Flashes towards B, and NiP yet to really arrive on cash so far. 4 kills in total after 4 rounds. Get into this one. And North, they're one of the teams you do not want them to get in their zone. Like you said, 3 players now had 4K rounds. And players like AZ, Config, even MSL stepping up there as well. You don't really want to allow them to start getting into that position where they can start landing amazing shots. But here we go. Exist finds an opening.
Considering AZ got blinded up, he did well to continue tracking exactly where the head had gone to his intended target. It wasn't a headshot. It was Freiburg nonetheless. Get Right gets him back, but inside of the site, they still have to take down Cajun, who's giving up the confidence on the AWP. Goes to the pistol, does enough damage that this team can close it out. And it's 5-0 for North. Remember, if they win 1 and Fnatic lose 1, they are the first to clinch. If they win both, doesn't matter what Fnatic do.
Yeah, North currently at the top of the table. It's been an up and down season for all teams. We've had Mousesports at the top, G2 coming close as well from the very bottom. I think they're currently like 2nd or 3rd after being 0-6 at the start of the league. It's been crazy how up and down it's been across the board. But still, here we go. Round number 6. Draken does get an AWP. Glass cannon. Maybe a bit desperate at this point. Like wall bangs at the start of the round. None of that nonsense from what we saw from Body yesterday. AZ getting himself in towards the Neo position in mid. Default round here for NiP. Not going to be fully committing towards B. They've actually got someone watching middle this time. That's always going to be a benefit for them. Here we go. Get Right. He's known for this. He's done this quite a lot. Lurking towards the B story, trying to find a frag. I'd say he's up against the master of that position, though, Config. He does this on the T side, and he's patrolling this area on the CT side as well. Draken's there with the AWP. It looks like he's done some damage there. I don't think that was with the AWP. It must have been Get Right through the smoke at the start to take Config down to 75 HP. 1 minute remaining, and MSL will be Molotov out of the vents, drops the smoke so he can stay up there.
AZ, gotta find a kill on the way out. That is so good. That, yeah, I mean, it's really poor that he's able to do so, but yeah, that's incredible at the same time.
He like buys his time about 2 or 3 seconds to suggest he's not there. Peeks out the perfect time, nails the headshot, and if there wasn't player on boost as well, he survives. So that's kind of nuts. 4 on 3. And Config coming back in towards middle. In terms of the bomb, that's in B storage for now. Exist has mid control. And Draken will be backing him up from the entrance here. Config refaces, he's almost certainly going down, and a missed shot somehow from Draken. Looked like he nailed it. And Major's boy finding a kill from Highway as well. This is another nightmare round for NiP. Back towards B they go, making a lot of noise. 30 seconds remaining.
Forrest into the site. MSL waiting for the angle. Small pit. Everyone goes there. I know they're trying to elongate the angle to the back of the site, but it's such a predictable crosshair placement. I almost would rather people just run up the ramp to find the shot at this point in time. That said, 6-0 North.
Let's take a pause soon, NiP. Threat is on the server. And, okay, is this the one?
Yeah, I was going to say $14,000 right now for MSL.
Let's take a pause. This has been absolutely horrific so far. Some huge blunders. They had the pistol advantage, and then a round of MSL pushing the back of them as well. They're getting completely overwhelmed across the board, and kind of mismatched buys as well. Draken at the glass cannon orb, missing some key shots there as well. 6-0. It's been a very quick first half so far. Double orb setup coming in from North now. It'll be Config and Cajun. Config, not known to be an orb player, he's actually very, very good at that weapon as well. So that's actually going to be interesting to see whether NiP can do anything about this. Config towards that B side, he'll be trolling that area, and Cajun, he can get a bit more dynamic, go towards middle, maybe Squeaky Door and A main as well. We'll see what he decides to do. In terms of the buy for NiP going forward, it's not looking great. Yes, they have maximum loss bonus, but the bomb has not been going down. I don't think it's gone down a single time yet after 6 rounds. So they get $3,400. So 3 players at that $3,400 mark, and then we've got existing Get Right just over 4K. So I think another partial buy has to come in here. It will indeed. Tech-9s, P250, some armor. Looking very likely to be 7-0 here, but let's see whether they can step up. CSGO certainly lends itself towards these pistols and finding rounds. Cash especially, you can do a full smoke execution towards the A side, push through, and get that snowball effect rolling. They buy a Galil for Get Right, who had a bit more money, like I said. So he takes himself down to about $1,600, so still with $3,400 coming in next round. That's if they do lose a round, can still buy. So still a chance here, and there's 2 smokes. So let's see whether an execution does come in. That's what most teams will do in this sort of scenario. 5 players towards the A side of the map suggest it will do. An aggressive play once again from North. So they've got full control of A main right now. Get will be facing with the Galil, but has to run off as the incendiary lands at his feet there. Boost coming in from Major's boy. Very strong position, always good for 2 or 3. Major's boy seems to be particularly good at it.
Ooh, that's awkward because they're boosting, and because of it, Cajun couldn't actually sidestep to his right. Ooh. But it doesn't even matter. They continue to push forward. He nails a fast shot onto Get Right, speaking of.
Clean sweep.
And then it's Cajun to get Drake in as well. 3 kills for him. This is going from bad to worse. 7-0. NiP aren't even in this game.
Yeah, that was the partial buy of the Tech-9s, but this is the round that really counts now. They have 4 rifles, and Draken has the orb and armor as well. Here's a little replay of Cajun B. That close range second shot was beautiful. 7-0. Still early days. Oh, a stab in the back. Config, not too happy about that one, but I guess not a huge deal against the AKs, who knows. And we'll get into this for the mid presence coming in from Draken. Can't find the shot when MSL takes him down. He had an amazing bunny hop, so much speed to get there, beat the smoke, and actually gets taken down, and Config finds a second one as well. And he said it's going bad to worse. It's certainly looking that way. It's looking out to be 8-0 here. North not giving anything away so far. 5-on-3. Forrest picks up the orb. He was the main orb before. Draken joined the team. Freiburg sneaks through middle, but at this point, the CTs don't have to challenge towards mid. 1 player in the vents, MSL. He does go down, so Freiburg finds a bit of an opening here. Might find a second as well. 3-on-3, pulls it back.
Freiburg's a good position to work with on this. However, he doesn't have anyone inside of B main. So pushing out vents becomes a bit more, I guess, threatening, tedious task. More of a risk. Oh, what a shot, Magist, to get Freiburg back as well on arrival. Forrest trades it, but it still limits the T's slightly. I know what you think that trades favor them. The problem is, and this is the right call, they have to go to highway because they can't get through the vents. It's a tight choke point without information. And an AWP as well at range, going against a double op setup, smoke top highway to push through. It may be to their detriment because it's toward truck. This flash should allow them by. But Cajun reads it, sits back, now knows they're there. And you should suspect him and expect him, I should say, to have the advantage. Good first kill on Forrest, backs off ever so slightly. They'll play this together and allow Exist to plant.
Good news for Exist. Some good news, I should say. He's actually up against 2 orbs here. If he gets the bomb down clean, he's got a smoke to over as well, can segregate them slightly. Probably has to go a little bit aggressive here and maybe try and get the first kill, take it down to a 1v1. He can't really allow them to get to the bomb and have those 2 turrets set up. Gives his position away, and they know he's on the bomb side at this point. The smoke, like I said, will work out in his favor. And now the clutch really begins. Config and Cajun B make their ascendance to the site, and Config's upgraded to an AK.
Well, this has gotten in good position. Finds one immediately. The upgrade indeed exists. Oh, he's got to hit the shots. Just barely does. And finally, NiP will pick up a round, but they do so with only 1 surviving. And did Exist... Yeah, he did get the op. Okay, I was going to say, did he get to the op in time? I was right next to him. Didn't see him grab it, but he did.
Well, it's not the cleanest way to find your first round, but they all count.
Go for the wall bang exist. I dare. Yep. There it is. Rush is already saying.
That's when you're like 10-2 up. That's when you're high rolling. You got plenty to work with. You give that a go.
It would have almost worked there because it's 149 is when he shot on both times, by the way.
Yeah.
Body knew the timing perfectly. So 1 to 49, I looked through the X-ray was crossing around. That's when you do it, Hank. You shoot at 149.
Yeah.
Every round, 149, Hank, in case you were wondering.
Cool.
Okay. Not 148.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Well, you could go next level. Cajun's going to get Draken down immediately, though, so the ops on the deck, they'll have to re-grab. They've got a decent buy around it, I will say. The UMPs, we know they're decent if they can get up close. I don't love tapping with them, but it can be done.
This is so good from North. They've got the opening pick, configs in B storage in Sunroom, like locking that side of the map down. What can NiP do here to even find a kill? Config looking towards T-spawn. He suspects something might be going on towards there, but get right in the use this room, we call that. Well, Config's looking right now. And they haven't really got much match control whatsoever. So Freiburg boosted up. He got some decent entries before. Can he replicate that form once again? And it's kind of obvious that they don't need anyone on B. So you can see that player, MSL, rotating off the site. Config's happy. He's got it locked down. It's too easy.
Yeah, that is too easy to get out that far. Changes his angle, tries to catch them off again. Not quite. Then Get Right will finally get himself in position. So the ops does pay dividends slightly to an IP. Problem is they're still down 1, and guess who's back in the corner? Actually, I take it back. It's not Config. It's MSL. Config is dead, Henry. I knew that. So too is Freiburg. Cajun B gets him as they try and push through.
So going back to A.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. Magistic's in a
So
great
perfect.
position. Yeah.
It does round over.
Unless Get Right gets to top high. Oh, it's smoked off. He can't even. Magistic's already ready for it because he has the call. So it's not like Get Right can even surprise him. They both go in. Get Right calls it. Spray transfer doesn't land. 4 seconds. Got there in time. The plant's actually going to go down, so at least some salvation. But he's got to clutch another round, and this time, no chance.
Yeah, they get the bomb down, sure, but it's still a full reset. They won the previous round of 1 player surviving. The bomb goes down, so it's $1,400 plus 800. And the fact of the matter is, they should be eco here. They might consider forcing into it. They have a couple of players they could buy. Like that, and when I say buy, it's an AK and armor. That's about it. And North looking to run away with this first half. And once again, North can't believe their luck. The fact is they're pushing in towards B storage and getting in Sunroom undetected. NiP don't seem to be aware whatsoever. 2 quick frags coming in, and Get Right picks up the AWP and gets one back, but then they're so apprehensive as to where they're going. They try and head towards B, lose another frag there. It's 4-on-2. Mage's voice boosted up. Like I said, round was over at that point with 20 seconds remaining, trying to get the A side. You can't check absolutely everything, and they will take an eco here indeed. Draken, Deagle, head armor. He's the AWPer. Why is he doing that? He's taken himself down to 2K, and he's been struggling with the buys. He hasn't been able to get head armor against these M4s. I don't know why he would get head armor. Maybe that's why, because he wants to get the 1 digs, and he manages to pull one off, takes out Cajun B, and it's going to be a 5-on-4. So I take back everything. Draken, he's God.
Yeah, he is, Hank. It's glad that you finally saw. MSL, though, inside of the site. Molotov down. Shot from Config. Very quick through the edge of the wall. In fact, quick enough. I thought he was still aimed down. He actually had his bullet hole up to the right. And MSL will smoke off main. 2 inside of Checker. Draken's got another with the small hand cannon, but AZ eventually does enough damage to put him down, and out goes Freiburg.
This could be a quick one, Matt. So Draken actually, yeah, I still stand by the point. He can't buy an AWP. He's brought into the team to be the main AWPer, right? This is to fix the problems in IP. They had to switch roles between Forest and Pits, and there was no consistency there. And Draken, he's buying up head armor and deagles in rounds on their full eco. He gets 1 kill, sure, but he can't buy an AWP into this round. So what's the adjustment threat? What are you going to do? We haven't seen any set pieces yet. Maybe that's what we need to start doing. Let's go for a full execution, try and get the bomb down. At least a clutch situation where we have something to work with here. Still up against the double AWP, so I think MSL is boosting up towards B Sunroom here. So that's a bit of a blast from the past. But most of the attention is towards middle for now. So good nades coming in. Exist down to 22 HP already.
Easy, backing away. Does the 9 turn into a 10, Henry?
I would say almost certainly. They've got 2 smokes, 5-4 up against these 2 AWPs. How do they even challenge those? Cajun B's in squeaky door. MSL's pushed B storage. That kid's looking horrible. They've got no map control. They've got Freiburg out middle. That's it. He's by himself. He goes down. That's all they've really got to work with. He does make his way towards connector though. That's a nice shot.
Decent opening. Catches off one of the rotation, makes him have to consider elsewhere, but Cajun still has vision toward the highway and makes quite an easy shot toward Freiburg. Forrest will wait as well for this smoke to clear. He's got his crosshair ready to try and clear Fork, but Magisk's gone above it this time around. That gives Cajun the ability to continue looking down highway, and down goes Forrest.
Good night.
Easy. And Exist on low HP. Last alive, 1 versus 4. Yeah, 10 that's certainly on the round now.
Yeah, this is... It feels like this is over. NiP is not arriving in this game whatsoever. They've won 1 round so far, which was a 5-on-3, and then up into 2v1 clutch for Exist. Like, it's not promising foundations to build your first half upon. 10-1, this is third stage loss bonus, $2,400 coming in. I would say they have to take a full eco here, and that's going to be 11-1. They're looking to maybe get 3 rounds here in the first half, and that's not really enough in the current form for them. No one's really setting the scoreboard on fire. We have Exist, who should not be top fragging for this team. 6 kills. Draken, 4. Get Right, 3. And the woes continue for NiP as a whole. They just returned from Summit event, Matt. I'm not sure if you caught any of it. I watched a couple of their games. They lost back-to-back best-of-3s against the American sides, against Liquid and Cloud9 there. They got a map against Liquid and got 2-0 by Cloud9. Cloud9 looked very decent there, to be fair, but NiP, the prestige of this team, the 4 core members who are former major champions, you'd think they'd be turning up to an event like the Summit, at least be making like semi-finals. But still adjusting things, it seems, and trying to find their feet.
Well, just to keep an eye as well on the ticker, if you'd like. The Astralis Fnatic game is now underway. It's 4-3 early for Astralis. No tell on where that's going to go based on that alone. But remember, all Fnatic has to do is beat, or excuse me, lose once to Astralis, I should say, and North will be through.
Yeah, pretty good odds for North making it through tonight. Win this 2-0, which is looking quite likely from what I've seen from NiP so far. And that's a good fighter frag here, and there it is. Get Right takes down MSL. They take a lot of damage in the process, but they're in the B site, and KHB could drop here as well. He needs to be very careful. He's going to fall back. Config here to save the day, and he's nailing every single shot as well. Looking for 3. There's fire absolutely everywhere, and he mows 2 of them down with the 5-7. Great work from Config, looking for the ace.
What is that? Both with the 5-7 up close. He's hunting the ace, won't find it. But Cage in there will be close enough to get an aid through. That's ridiculous that there's flames down at his speed. He goes aggressive, misses the 3rd. You think, okay, he's already got 2, that's fine. Pops back out, boom, boom, 5-7 in the face. 11-1. Yeah, I think the writing on the wall for this one.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair assessment. No war points again for Draken. He only had $4,600 going into this one. And I haven't really seen much from NiP in terms of tactics yet. Not really any fakes or even decent map control. They wait for the 30-second mark, then Freiburg sneaks out middle once they've already lost a frag, and they try and split a bomb site. They get picked apart 1 by 1. I think just grouping up right now, getting into bomb sites with just some basic smokes, B execution, something, just to get some trades going would be great. MSL on the vents right now, free kill for him, but looks at things, Get Right drops again. And another 5-on-4. Like, there's no refrag. What's the objective there? Where are they going with it?
Shot from Forrest takes down AZ. Continue to find his way inside of the site as well. Head.
Spots his bum.
Did he? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, he did. Okay, because he backed off to check heaven again. I wasn't sure he did. Now he sees the head, but MSL's there. Fires back in. He goes through the other direction. B main from MSL, and he's relocated. They won't know where he is. They're going to push the smoke. He's expecting it. Starts to look wide side, but has to dodge the flash for his teammate.
Here we go.
Costs him, though, for Freiburg, rather. Gets inside of the site. Bomb thrown. Config now realizes that it's going to be planted, so in goes the Molotov. Exist will put that down. Just barely gets away. 1 tick. 7 HP, but it's enough to stay alive. Config knows he's somewhere still on the site, therefore, but has no further nade. There is this, though. An additional Molotov exists as well. Payback to Config. After all that damage, manages to get a shot in. Molotov will force him out. Cajun's able to collect, but it's onto Magisk. Gets the first immediately. Freiburg's on the side, in the open, off angle. What a reaction from Magisk. It's going to go 12-1, and your head is in your hands.
It is. It's just difficult to watch at this point. Just when it looks like they can pull around back, they get a bit of luck. Exist gets the bomb down. He's on a 7 HP. Even finds a frag there. There's 2 orbs on the retake, but of course, it's Mage's boy who drops down, and the T player remaining. He's in the open, and he only had 40 HP, I believe, as well. Great shot by Mage's, but just nothing working for NiP at this point. They lost the initial duel as well. Get Right, one of their key players, pushing into its checkers. Easy kill for MSL. 12-1. They get the bomb down. They're a maximum loss bonus once again, so they can get another buy here, but I'm not sure they're going to post another round. They got 16-1 by FaZe before this match, so doesn't look like a good night in the office for NiP so far.
Freiburg trying to get a shot in through to the cubby. No success as of yet. ESL's actually been able to evade such bullet tree and makes his way underneath the drop. Do you like that? That's my new favorite word, bullet tree.
Bullet tree?
Yeah, it's just like the antics of the bullets trying to get through the smoke.
Okay.
I'm not putting up with your bullet tree.
I won't be using it, but maybe I'll say...
That's fine. I don't care. I wasn't going to give you permission to anyway.
Okay. I'll just say it, as you would say.
$5 every time, Henry. Cajun. Let's not start that again. Cajun B going to start off with his first shot, and look at this, MSL.
Not again.
Okay. I thought he might just get cheeky, go for a little knife,
Do you see how segregated the tees looks right now? Like, there's one player just walking around middle by himself. Is he hoping to win the round like that? Like, why is there no strategy being deployed? The defaults aren't working. You're not fragging. No one's hitting any shots right now. Let's go to the set pieces, get the bomb down. Something to, like, at least challenge the CT to make them sweat. They've got full control every situation. They've got so much money, they can go aggressive at the start. You haven't even got an AWP to even try and challenge this aggressive AWP play coming in. It's 13-1 at this point, 5-on-2. And 30 seconds remaining. They've got a smoke and Molotov out of vents. That option's now gone for 7 seconds or so. Freiburg thinking, okay, that's one of your smokes gone. And you're running through a grey screen. What on earth are you doing?
Wow.
What is that mess? Throw the smoke down. And you know, someone is on the other side. They've thrown an incendiary there. They're watching it, and you throw down the smoke and run through a grey screen.
Please continue. This is more entertaining, I think.
It's just bizarre.
I think what we need to do is get Sponge over here with you, so he can start analyzing on the same level.
Yeah.
And you can both just rip this apart. Oh, look at the push. Confidence is key. Config gets his op in position, but the Molotov bounces back. It's going to hit. He fires in, still manages to get right. That'll bait in MSL. And good night, NiP. 14-1 looking to be the case. I won't write it off just yet, but that nade's going to put down Freiburg on 58. The Molotov as well. They knew he was in there. He has to back away. Cajun gets forced. It continues to be worse and worse. Oh, how's the top frag? 7 kills for Exist. He leads the way. 22, on the other hand, for Config. In fact, let me just do the math quickly. 13, 4, 17, 21, 24. So Config has 22 and all of NiP has 24.
Nice maths.
Thank you.
Good job. Well, Draken finds something here, but I have to say this first half, I'm not even going to cast this last bit because this is absolutely woeful from NiP. This is not a world contending team right now. They're out of the top 10 for a good reason. They need to really work out how they're going to readjust and get back to being the side they once were. This recipe at the moment isn't doing it for me. We'll take a quick break, Matt. Maybe a chance to recalculate ourselves, and we'll see whether they can come back in the second half.
Cash was a dominant map for NiP forever, except when you consider very important games such as, let's say Flipside beating them, Vega beating them, and now North crushing them, all with similar scores. 14-1 in this particular half. Not quite the same essence as a major loss and then a qualification loss, but it's still a painful reminder of their issues on it.
We maybe didn't give enough praise towards North for their performance there. We're obviously focusing quite heavily on NiP, but how can you not when you're looking at this? Like, what are we watching right now? But the thing is that everyone in North had an amazing game there. Like, everyone's finding multiple racks, like 4K, just Config especially. He's been amazing recently. Just finding absolutely every shot. The AWP, the M4, the pistol, he's got a 4K as well. That guy is just on another level right now. 14-1 is the first half score. And we'll see whether NiP can get anything rolling here. I would say that at this point, this map is over. And people are looking to get the second, but you never know. Get a pistol. Maybe you can just get warmed up and get yourself ready for the next map. We'll discuss that being an idea, or at least a concept. And we'll see what happens here in the second half, first round. 4 sets of armor. No smokes here for North, but flashbangs towards mid. Nice little one there from AZ. Going to be sending Draken a little bit further back, and he's got to start hitting his shots right now.
Draken not hitting anything. Config takes down the man in question.
Here we go.
Right, though. Oh, get right.
Good lord.
Get right. Oh, get right.
What can he say? You try and give them something.
So Freiburg, left alive, is going to try and swing back out into middle. And, well, 15-1. Dead now. Of course, Magistica's the one to take him down. So let's look back over at the Astralis Fnatic game. It's 7-5 for Astralis.
Might be a bit more going on there than this one. That was rough. Nice approach though from North. Like, that's quite basic. Normally you talk about having smokes and having little set pieces on the T-side pistol rushing B. They did that nice flash to push the player back at the wide box. That's Draken. He has to take his vision away for 2 or 3 seconds there. As soon as he faces again, there's 3 players waiting for him. I said he had to start hitting shots. Didn't get anything going at all. Get right with the whiff of the week, I think, from the vents. Spamming the USP is not recommended.
If NiP failed to qualify for this next major, I'd just take 4 months off. Whole team, 4 months, go on vacation, forget about CS, come back. Let's do it all again later. But that's just me. Exist at this rate, I'm not sure they will qualify, by the way that they're looking right now.
I don't think they deserve to. This kind of CS they're presenting to me today.
Early days yet. They've got to go through the minor system this time as well.
True.
Another step down the ladder that they've got to climb in. Those teams are unpredictable. You never know what you can receive at those tournaments.
Should be out.
Freiburg does get a kill back in return. AZ's low enough, but this game should be done.
Well, Matt, they had 16-1 versus FaZe, and now they've been 16-1 by North as well. This is a day to forget for NiP. A dark day for NiP fans across the world.
And to rebound from this, knowing that you've had issues, knowing that you're under the knife right now, or under the microscope, I should say. You've already gone under the knife and brought in Draken. Simple fact is that I don't think they're going to recover for game 2. They have another one against North. I think, well, I don't really think anything. I don't think the desk is going to be able to say much on this, but we'll send it over to them nonetheless.
We can always say things, Jason.
Can you?
Yeah, we can.
What you got?
North just blossomed like a sunflower on a spring day just then, and Config couldn't go wrong. What's so funny?
You can always say something. I like it.
Yeah, Config with multi-kills all over the map.
Everyone with multi-frags from North. That could have just been a frag, like a 10-minute frag video, essentially, is what we just watched.
We've had a lot of those.
If we threw some Linkin Park over that game and replayed it, that would be some old-school frag movie fun.
I'm also pretty sure no one from NiP broke double digits.
You are correct, Lauren.
During that game.
I think Freiburg had the most with 9 frags.
Gave it a go.
On their T side, which is the main side we saw in that game just then, they only had 3 entry frags, and one of those was, I believe, on an eco, and it was Draken with a deagle. So like they just weren't finding entries anywhere. Like in the first 5 rounds of the game, so they got smashed on the first gun round. Then I think
this is you losing. This is what broke Chad.
Chad, talk us through this, mate.
Okay, so the Molotov has gone off in the vent. They've gone, all right, the bad guys aren't coming. Oh, they smoked it out. I wonder if they're going to run through it. Oh, they are. It's a great play.
It's a great play.
I think that's kind of the highlight, because obviously in something like this, normally, I mean, you do want to highlight, the winners of these games, but we saw so many questionable things coming out of the NiP camp from players of this caliber and players of this experience. Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, this is where it kind of does feel like the weight of all of this is just starting to crush down on them, and they just don't have. They're not focused.
Henry is lighting his NiP jersey on fire as we speak.
Yeah, fickle fan, that one.
He was with them for so long, but I think this one finally broke him.
It's broken a lot of us, I think, in different ways. Either way, we're gonna send this one to a break. Yeah, that's tough for NiP. We'll see if they can rebound. It's not looking likely. That was a very, very ugly effort out of NiP. So we'll be right back with map 2.